All right, well, now for the administration's take on the jobs report. We go to D.C. and to Labor Secretary Hilda Solis. Madam Secretary, thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning, Betty. How are you?
Good. You know, we've been talking all along throughout this morning that this labor report has some good news and some bad news. But judging from the market reaction, they're taking it all as bad news. It was quite a big of a shock. 85,000 jobs lost. What do you have to say for that?
Well, I think that we predicted that this would be a very hard recovery that we'd have to go through, and the president has consistently told us that, you know, there will be peaks and valleys here, but this is what I would call a consistent moderation. Over the last 4 months, we've actually seen a decline in job loss, and if you think about it, last year at this time, we lost well over 700,000 jobs. Now, that's not to say this is good enough, because we're not going to stop until we start adding more jobs. And I will say that this report tells us that if we didn't use the Recovery Act monies, that we could have seen a much greater loss. And I'll tell you that just this week, two days ago, we handed out $100 million to business and labor management programs that will help to retrain people in retrofitting, weatherization, hybrid fuel vehicles, things that the president today will outline also in his discussion to the public.
Yes, but you know, what people are, and I presume the American taxpayer is continuing to hear, though, is that we're doling out more money for different programs to create jobs, whether it be for manufacturing, healthcare, or the green industry, and yet we still see a pretty surprising number like this. So where does that leave you in the administration in terms of gauging whether or not your policies are working?
It means that we're going to have to work harder to create more jobs, that we're going to also work closely with Congress. And I know that the president today will outline more tax credits for small business because they are the engine of growth. In fact, all the job training programs that we are actually putting out there are in partnership with businesses and new manufacturing opportunities in the electric vehicle industry. For example, I know that one of your folks was out today earlier at a solar panel facility, and that's something that we're also promoting because that is the future. That's where we will see growth. But it isn't only exclusive to that. We're also looking at healthcare careers. We're also looking at education and other areas that did see some up peak.
Right, but I mean, would you say that it's been success? I mean, people would say that this is not successful yet. You've outlined so many programs, and yet we haven't reached success yet. I mean, what kind of a grade would you give yourselves in terms of being able to stem the job losses? Because we were back again to...
I would tell you, Betty, I would just tell you that the Department of Labor, we don't actually create the jobs. We train people for the jobs. Department of Energy, SBA, Commerce, and other entities provide some of the necessary capital, and that has been happening over the course of the last few months with the Recovery Act money. I will tell you that there was a plant, an auto plant that was reopened in Delaware that the Vice President attended to, and there are 2,000 people that are going to be put back to work that will be working on hybrid electrical vehicles. So I see the future changing a bit. It's going to take some time. This is a very stubborn recession.
Madam Secretary, we're going to have to leave it there.